How did European industry fall from grace? Why is Europe desperate for Chinese machinery? Can you believe it? Europe, which once hoisted the flag of the Industrial Revolution and engineered the Maxim machine gun and EPR nuclear reactors, is now attempting a nuclear power revival plan, only to be choked by a steel plate rolling machine, and turning desperately to China with a procurement list. This is no ordinary machine, it is a national strategic asset that determines the safety of fourth-generation nuclear power plants. After 3 years of effort, Europe's domestic industry failed to produce it, and had no choice but to humble itself and ask China for help. The machine that Europe is longing for is the 25,000-ton super-large digital hydraulic rolling machine delivered by China National Erzhong Group, CNZG, Wanhang. Simply put, it's a super craftsman that builds the Golden Bell Shield for nuclear power plants. The containment vessel for the fourth-generation nuclear power plant requires rolling steel plates several tens of centimeters thick into a perfect cylinder, with an allowable error of less than 10 cents /text, $, thinner than a coin. This skill is like using a steamroller to press tofu. You must press it into a fixed shape without crushing it. The difficulty is immense. What's even more mind-bending is that not only is the machine monopolized by China, but the global standard for heavy industrial equipment is also being redefined by China. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, has officially adopted the Intelligent Inspection Standard for heavy metal forming equipment proposed by China. This means that future heavy equipment built globally will have to follow China's rules. Europe once collected profits globally by setting standards. Now, it is reduced to a rule follower in its own field of strength. The massive reversal of the industrial landscape hidden behind this is far more shocking than the story of a single machine. Next, we will uncover how exactly did European industry fall from grace? And how did China's heavy machinery achieve a comeback from being a follower to rule maker? Once you finish reading, you will understand that this shift in industrial discourse power was inevitable. Europe's nuclear dream, shattered by a rolling machine. Europe's nuclear dream was broken on a rolling machine. Last year, French electric utility company EDF submitted a plan to build 6 new nuclear reactors within 15 years, with a budget as high as €46 billion, hoping to regain global nuclear power leadership. However, the plan stalled immediately because the ultra-thick steel plate rolling equipment required to build the fourth-generation nuclear containment vessels simply could not be manufactured domestically in Europe. The former industrial giant, Krupp Steelworks in Germany, is now unable to maintain its own blast furnaces. It will be completely dismantled and sold off in May 2025, let alone build this kind of cutting-edge equipment. Out of necessity, EDF had to issue an urgent purchase intent letter to China's Erzhong, a move that immediately ignited heated debate in the French parliament. Some angrily denounced it as a complete failure of strategic autonomy, while others stated frankly, "If we don't buy it soon, the nuclear power plan will become a joke." This scene shatters the illusion of European post-industrialization. The so-called industrial upgrade is, in many fields, merely a cover for deindustrialization. Data from the German Federal Statistical Office shows that German industrial output contracted for the second consecutive year in 2024, with industrial output, excluding construction, plummeting by $3%. Machinery and equipment manufacturing saw a drop of $8.1%, and industrial output value is $10% lower than before the COVID-19 pandemic. Former rolling machine giants, like Davi in Italy and Haussler in Switzerland, can now only produce equipment up to 18,000 tons, falling short not only in tonnage but also significantly in precision. Europe outsourced production lines to low-cost countries and diverted R&D funds into finance and the internet, forgetting that the root of industry is always on the shop floor. When China was honing 10 cents /text, $, precision in the lab, European heavy industry companies were calculating how many layoffs it would take to protect their stock price. This difference in choice predetermined today's outcome. 2. The dimensionality reduction attack. of China's heavy machinery is never due to luck. CNZG spent 8 years just on the R&D for this 25,000-ton rolling machine, and its digital hydraulic control system alone has 23 patents. Its unique skill lies in its ability to capture steel plate deformation data in real time through thousands of sensors and use AI algorithms to adjust the pressure. It can precisely compensate even for subtle variations in steel plate thickness. In contrast, similar European equipment still uses traditional hydraulic systems, taking 4 hours to adjust parameters once, with precision only controllable to $1 $, or more. What's more, China can not only build the machine but also make it better and cheaper. The manufacturing cost of this rolling machine is $30 lower than the European bid, and the delivery cycle is halved. No wonder EDF's procurement head directly stated, "There is no second choice." After all, in the face of a dual advantage in technology and cost, so-called political correctness simply holds no ground. Behind this is the decade-long perseverance of China's manufacturing sector. CNZG Equipment launched the research and development of the super-large rolling machine in 2016, undergoing 127 structural optimizations and over 300 pressure tests. The core component, the work roll, was forged 11 times before meeting the standards. To break through the digital hydraulic technology, the R&D team lived in the workshop for 2 whole years, recording tens of thousands of data sets daily. This hard bone-chewing spirit is precisely what European companies lack. Haussler in Switzerland attempted to develop a 20,000-ton equipment, but ultimately cut the R&D project after 3 consecutive years of losses. Davi in Italy focused its efforts on low to mid-end equipment, maintaining survival through brand premium. Chinese manufacturing used the resilience of sitting on the cold bench for 10 years to crack the hard bone that Europe gave up on, naturally gaining the initiative at the critical moment. This technological breakthrough is never isolated. It is the synergistic effort of the entire industry chain. From special steel to precision sensors, from AI algorithms to hydraulic components, China has built a complete heavy equipment industry ecosystem. That is the strength that most worries Europe. 3. The loss of standard discourse power is more fatal than machine monopoly. In the ISO vote this year, the intelligent inspection standard for heavy metal forming equipment proposed by China was passed with an overwhelming majority, making it the world's first international standard for heavy equipment inspection led by China. It is a historical iron law since the Industrial Revolution that whoever masters the technology sets the standard. In the 19th century, Britain set global machinery standards with the steam engine. In the 20th century, the US controlled industry rules with automobiles and chips. Now, it is China's turn to rewrite the game with heavy equipment. How tough is this standard? It directly raises the precision requirement for intelligent inspection by 3 times, meaning most existing European equipment fails to meet the requirement, and must either upgrade at great cost or exit the high-end market. Even more noteworthy is that this is not the first time China has taken the lead in setting standards. As of 2025, China has led the formulation of 7 international standards for cranes and holds absolute discourse power in the ISO/TC 96 Technical Committee, with an international standard adoption rate of $96%. The battle for standards is underpinned by the comprehensive iteration of industrial philosophies. When Europe sets standards, it often aims to set barriers and choke others, such as intentionally raising certain parameters in past crane standards to make it difficult for developing countries to comply. China's standard logic is promote development and mutual safety. The new intelligent inspection standard not only improves equipment safety but also reserves room for technological upgrades, which even the German Mechanical Engineering Industry Association had to admit was more forward-looking. This difference stems from different development philosophies. Europe treats standards as a hegemonic tool, while China treats them as a global public good. Just like the rolling machine, China not only sold it to France but also helped train their operators and provided subsequent maintenance solutions. While Europe is still grappling with Strategic autonomy. China has won the recognition of more countries with an attitude of openness and win-win. This is the most solid foundation for standard discourse power. It's not achieved through coercive pressure, but by convincing others with technical strength and a win-win philosophy. 4. The Chinese model, strategy versus financialization. To understand the foundational role of manufacturing for an industrial power, Germany's predicament of industrial hollowing out is the clearest mirror. This mirror reflects not only Germany's confusion, but also highlights China's farsightedness in sticking to manufacturing. Once upon a time, the blast furnace smoke in Germany's Ruhr area was a global industrial beacon, and "made in Germany" was synonymous with precision and reliability. Today, this beacon is dimming. In the first half of 2025, the wave of corporate bankruptcies in Germany hit a 15-year high, with 11,900 companies filing for bankruptcy. These include Recaro, a century-old, hidden champion that supplied seats to Porsche and Mercedes-Benz, and a subsidiary of Liebherr, a powerhouse in construction machinery. Recaro was unable to master intelligent temperature-controlled seating technology for NEVs due to its adherence to traditional leather seat craftsmanship, and its orders were snatched by China's Ningbo Huaxiang. Liebherr's small excavator production line, suffering from insufficient R&D investment, was forced to retreat to the domestic market by Intelligent Products from CNZG. Economic data further punctures the "made in Germany" halo. Germany's GDP decreased by 0.2% year-on-year in 2024, the second consecutive year of contraction. Industry's contribution to the economy dropped to 1.3%, the worst record since the 2008 financial crisis. Industrial exports declined by 0.8% year-on-year, and exports from the once dominant machinery and equipment sector plummeted by 12%, causing German machine tool companies' global market share to shrink from 18% to 14%. More alarmingly, the share of R&D investment in German industry has dropped from 3.1% in 2018 to 2.7% in 2024, with R&D funds in the heavy industry sector cut by nearly 40%. In contrast, China's manufacturing R&D investment as a percentage of GDP rose to 2.5% in 2024. R&D expenses in the heavy equipment industry alone grew by 18% year-on-year. CNZG equipment invested over 1.2 billion yuan in R&D for the titanium plate rolling mill technology, and Taiyuan Heavy Industry, TZHC, formed a 50-person specialized R&D team to revise the Crane International Standard, accumulating 200,000 sets of experimental data. In 2024, CNZG equipment signed a contract for the widest titanium plate rolling mill in China, capable of rolling special titanium plates with a width of $5.50 M dollar, a product previously only manufactured globally by Germany's ThyssenKrupp. In 2025, the Crane International Standard led by TZHC officially took effect, directly increasing the equipment safety factor by $20% and forcing Germany's Konecranes to spend €200 million to upgrade its production line. The comparison between the two development paths is staggering. Germany channeled industrial profits into financial derivative speculation, with the German financial sector's profit share reaching $38% in 2024. While industry's profit share was only $22%. China, however, reinvested manufacturing profits back into R&D, with the R&D investment share of companies like Sany and CNZG exceeding $8%, far surpassing the $3%, $5% of their German counterparts. One is sinking deeper into the mire of deindustrialization, while the other is accelerating its lead on the strong industrialization track. While European companies busy themselves calculating stock fluctuations, Chinese craftsmen are honing millimeter-level precision on the shop floor. This adherence to the real economy is the core secret to China's rise as an industrial power. Commentary and analysis. The decline of German industry is by no means accidental. It is the inevitable result of shifting focus from the real economy to the virtual economy. When capital abandons manufacturing, which requires long-term commitment, and instead chases short-term financial profits, the industrial foundation will naturally be hollowed out. The rise of Chinese manufacturing is not a fluke. It is driven by the strategic resolve of forging a sword for 10 years. From the continuous increase in R&D investment to the coordinated effort of the entire industry chain, China has proven with concrete action that the status of an industrial power is never maintained by brand premium, but is built with every hammer strike in the workshop and every data point in the lab. Germany's lesson warns us that manufacturing is the foundation of a nation and must never be given up lightly. China's practice tells the world that by adhering to the real economy and deeply cultivating core technologies, one can seize the initiative in the global industrial landscape. This difference in development paths has long predetermined today's shift in industrial discourse power. What's even more impressive is that the breakthroughs in China's heavy industry have formed a cluster effect. In addition to CNZG's rolling machine, TZHC's cranes, XCMG's excavators, and Sany's rotary drilling rigs all occupy a place in the global high-end market. Behind this equipment is China's comprehensive breakthrough in choke point areas such as special steel, precision hydraulics, and industrial software. For example, the yield strength of the special steel used for the core components of the rolling machine from China's Day Special Steel has reached $1,200 MPa dollar, far exceeding the $800 MPa dollar of similar European products. The precision of hydraulic valves, once monopolized by Germany, is now matched or even surpassed by products from China's Henley Hydraulic compared to Bosch Rexroth. This upgrade across the entire industry chain has given China's heavy equipment pricing power. It's not that Europe can choose not to buy, it's that besides China, no one can produce a product that simultaneously offers advantages in technology, cost, and delivery time. Europe's strategic autonomy has become a laughingstock precisely because they abandoned the completeness of the industry chain, while China has built the most comprehensive industrial ecosystem. From Europe's demand for a Chinese rolling machine to China's leadership in global heavy industry standards, this shift in industrial discourse power is essentially the victory of industry-driven nation building over empty talk of upgrade. Europe once set the rules with the sound of work in its workshops, but it has now forgotten its original intent. China, through decades of perseverance, has etched "Made in China" into the DNA of the global heavy industry. This 25,000-ton rolling machine is more than just a piece of equipment. It is a signal. The center of global industry has firmly landed in China. In the future, more Chinese heavy assets will break through technological barriers and set industry rules. What do you think will be the next Chinese industry to achieve standard leadership? Feel free to leave your thoughts in the comments section. Follow me to understand the secrets behind the rise of China's manufacturing sector.